Or if you're pushing 40, be sure that you're getting mammograms every year. And there are a lot of things out there. If you don't have insurance or good insurance, there's ways to be able to help pay for some of those exams if you feel that you need it. So it's not just, I'm scared, I don't have anything to do. Well, I hope that everyone feels that they can come and talk to me because I can steer them in the right direction, or send me a message on my blog. Like, it doesn't really matter. I'm here to answer any questions for sure for anyone, but just to know that you have to ask the questions. And as young women today, we have to stand up for ourselves. And if something is wrong, we need to say. And trust me, at this point, this is not even my body anymore. Like, this is definitely science's body. And you get poked and prodded and everything. And still to this day, I still have my port, because that's how just recent I just finished with treatment. I still have to go and get my port removed, which again, I had tons of questions about, okay, now what about that procedure? Because I've never had a port removed. So what do you do with that? But again, it's asking those tiny questions that are important.
Just something to add to that was the weirdest part about the whole thing, especially at the beginning, is that she was healthy. She had a terrible disease in her, but we never would have known had she not found the lump, and that was the weirdest part of just balancing, because you would forget, especially before she started chemo and, she still had her hair and everything. I'll look at our pictures for our ski trip. She had cancer at that point, but you look at them and you're like, it was just a great time. We had a good time. She looked normal. She did there was nothing different about it. And that's what's so scary about the disease, is that if she wasn't the type of person that would check things out, or, gotten hit, headbutted by her son, she may never, who knows how long it would have been. And by that point, if you wait too long, that's when the bad things happen. And that's one of the most important things to drive home, is that you don't get breast cancer, or really any cancer, and then, just, oh man, I've got a headache. You can, but usually by that point, it's been there for a while. And that, especially with breast cancer, that was the most interesting thing to me.
Okay. So, Michael, what vibe did you get from Yana during this process?
I've been going back and forth with this question since I even looked up the word vibe. I honestly don't think her vibe changed at all. It was always Yana's vibe. From day one, from when all the insurance papers were scattered across her desk, from the no more radiation party, it was always the same. So yeah, I definitely don't think her vibe changed. Yana can have 10 things on her plate and have cancer, and she's still, hey, what you doing? And and it definitely makes you think about.
Do I sound like that? I'm
yeah. And it definitely makes you double think, like when you say you have a bad day, like what is she doing? And one event that I really would like to highlight, to show you like her vibe. One Tuesday, she had chemo on Tuesdays, right? Yeah. We had our big Up Till Dawn event, and it was a letter writing event, and the one we prepare for a year. And that particular day, she couldn't receive chemo because her blood counts were too low. And she came trucking into Prather Coliseum with a mask on against her doctor's orders. And she came in and drew a clown nose on her mask and went to start working. And that definitely, that showed you right there that no matter what was happening to her, that she was still going to truck on at 100 miles an hour.
And I did get fussed, but whatever. It's for the kids.
Okay, so there are many days that I don't want to go to class, I don't want to go to meetings, and I'm pretty sure we all have that. How did you just continue with your day-to-day life?
I don't know. I really don't know. Trust me, I think in the back of your mind, I so wanted to take advantage of the fact, this is the opportunity for me to relax and really kind of focus on me, and say, I'm not feeling so good, I'm tired, I don't think I'm gonna come in. But it never really happened for me, because I'm always a busybody and I need to do something. But knowing that my number one thing whenever we met with Dr. Socorro was, number one, I wanted to live my life. It was important for me, it was important for us that we try to live as normal life as possible. And I think when we start thinking about the negative and thinking about the things that we have to go through, we have that opportunity to say, no. I want to live my life. I mean, I went and I tried to keep everything the same and try to keep, and I had a really good staff help to be able to say if I'm not really feeling well. But I brought my iPad to chemotherapy, and I'm sitting there talking, typing on my iPad. We had a meeting with Up Till Dawn, and I was FaceTiming through chemotherapy, and all the nurses like, hey, what's up? But it's one of those things that, I just wanted to live my life. I didn't want this to say, okay, stop, you need to do this, and then go back to life, because to me, the life is what made me live. And so that was something that really kind of triggered it for me, was that you need to do that.
Okay. Did you ever feel like you couldn't beat this disease?
No, never once, any stretch of imagination, that I couldn't beat it. It was one of those things that, okay, sorry cancer, you're on my checklist, you're gonna be checked off. So you have no choice, so you might as well move it on and go away, just go away. And so that's pretty much the attitude that I had.
Okay, so as she progressed, like, what were your feelings?
I mean, it was terrific. I mean, like we said, we were getting it done, and attacking it, and she didn't. I mean, she did really well with it. I guess towards the end of the summer is when it kind of started beating your body up a little bit. You look back at pictures and you're like, wow, she was, a lot more sick than I remember her being, and so. You don't realize it at the time, but it's just every time. It's just one of those things. Every time we leave, I think we'd get in the car and we'd be like, 6 down, 18 more to go, or whatever, and
Check it.
it was just, it was just. I was glad, glad that we had the doctors we have now, and the insurance we had, and the friends and the support that we had.
Okay, so my next question is for Angela. I remember being in her POP class, and I remember talking about the Journey bracelets. Can you explain to us, like, your process with that?
Yeah, well, Yana and I, it's funny because somebody gets sick and everybody wants to make a t-shirt. Well, Yana was like, I don't want a stupid t-shirt, okay? So we said, okay, well, what would we like to do? She's like, something like a really fun piece of jewelry or a bracelet. So while she was busy getting better, I did a little bit of research, and I went to Etsy, which is a popular site for homemade gifts, and I found a seller who made bracelets, and I just sent her an email. She's in Wisconsin, and I asked her if she would be willing to help me out, that we were looking to create something unique for my friend who was just diagnosed, and we wanted to make a little bit of money so that we could put that into their love fund to cover any expenses, and really more than anything, that it be something that people can wear to represent the hope that she the hope that she has, and that it could be something to remind everyone of the positivity. And we went over and over about what we wanted to put. We wanted to put a word on the jewelry, and her mother-in-law, Alan's mom, I think was an inspiration to that also. Sorry, mom-in-law. Yeah. And the word that kept coming up was journey. She kept talking about, she didn't talk about her illness or her sickness. She talked about this journey that she was on. And I'll never forget, one day we were snuggled up on her couch and just chatting away. And she looked at me, and I asked her, I said, how are you doing? And she goes, makes this face and goes, I'm really good. Like she felt bad about it. And she talked about how much good she saw come out of this experience. She was very fortunate that she was not bedridden, and she was up and going to work every day. Not that she didn't have her bad days, and not that she wasn't tired, although I don't think anybody would ever see that. She was very good at being the happy Yana that we all know and love. And hiding it. But she wanted something to accurately represent that. She didn't want something that was going to bring people down or make people feel sad, and so that was what we went with. And I actually have the bracelet on today. We made bracelets and keychains, and we sold them through the blog, and the people that bought them, there's people wearing Journey bracelets and using Journey keychains all over the United States. They were very popular, and they were a lot of fun, and the thing that hits me the most about that process is that the little tagline that we put with it when we were selling it was that, as a reminder, when you look at it and you're going through your journey, no matter what it is, that you would remember to have hope and to stay positive throughout it, as Yana has done through this process.
Okay. Natalie,
you need a stick or two.
My question for you is, how did you feel when Yana informed you that she's now a breast cancer survivor?
Oh, elated, I think is probably the word we all would use. Excited, thrilled for her. I think You know, there are people who are diagnosed with any disease, cancer, any number of things, and they allow that that journey to define who they are. And Yana chose to define her journey and not let her journey define her. And I think that at the end of the day, that's what I'll take away from this, is that no matter what you're going through, no matter what journey you're on, and I love that Angela shared that, that we all can have hope in whatever journey we are, because we can either choose to allow it to define us, or we can define how we approach it and how we tackle it. And I would say that Yana's tackled it to the ground. Coach Pivito needs to get you on the football team.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Special teams.
Michael, can you describe Yana as a person and as a friend? Be nice.
Sure. I would say, since I met her through Northwestern, I would like to say that like she is an exceptional student affairs professional, and I don't think people realize all the work that she does behind the scenes, and she's very underappreciated. And I'm so blessed to have met her through Northwestern. And I would definitely say that she has enhanced my college experience, because I really can't imagine coming here and not have meeting Yana, just because it has launched me into so many other programs, organizations, and just made me a better person and a better leader here on campus. So I'm very blessed and fortunate to have met this lifelong cancer-free lady.
Okay. Angela, I'll ask you a question. Explain your friendship before cancer, during cancer, and now after cancer.
I think because of Yana and who she is, our friendship has remained exactly the same, which was we were very, very, very close before. And I was honored to go through the journey with her and spend time with her, go to chemo, hang out, and also spend time together and not it be about her sickness. But if anything, it has strengthened it. I look at her and see what a strong person she is. Yana is the type of person who everybody that she knows thinks that they're her best friend, because that's how she makes people feel. And she is just that type of person. She makes people feel good about themselves. She encourages them. She's not afraid to call people out either, but in a way that is respectful and kind, because that's part of her job as well. And she's responsible for herself and oftentimes for many, many others as well, especially in her profession. But I'm just grateful, as Michael said, to know Yana. I feel that it is a blessing and an honor to be able to go through this journey with her. And I know that countless others have benefited because of the unfortunate situation that was bestowed upon her became so positive for others. And this here is just an example, because she can make others aware of what you need to look for and what you need to be aware of to stay healthy.
Okay, so now we're going to start question and answer from the audience. This is from Kevin Guillory. How do you look at life since you've had breast cancer and survived?
I look at it as what it is. It's life. And I mentioned it earlier in the conversation that you have a choice when you wake up in the morning to live your life a certain way. And when I wake up, I live. And I don't take things for granted anymore, and I take the time out for me. And sometimes that's difficult, but because I always want to help others and I always want to do for others, and that's something that just has always been who I am. But it's hard for me to do things for me, but I'm learning through this process that you got to be quick. Yeah.
Okay, the next question is, this is from Renee Bennett. What made you stay working at NSU, knowing that if you were to take time off, all of us would understand?
Northwestern State is my family. I definitely do bleed purple and white, true and true. And that's, to me, probably what kept me going, if you will. One of the reasons that I wanted to live my life, and my life is Northwestern State. Like, it's not Yana the wife, it's not Yana the best friend, it's not Yana the colleague, it's Yana all inclusive, and Northwestern State is just what and who I am. And to take off work to go and be for me, this is me. Like, this is what I do, and I love what I do. And I wake up in the morning, I enjoy my career that I have chosen. So to not come here for a day and see great students and see great things happening on campus, I wouldn't think that I would be missing something, and I don't want that to happen. Like, I want to be in the middle of everything, and I did have to be cautious. And if I was feeling ill, like Michael said, you know, I did wear a mask, and I still came and I still gave part of me for that day. But then I did go home that evening, and I went and said, I'm sorry, I do have to go. And of course, everyone understood, and so I did, and I left, and I was at home, and I hated every minute of it. I was like, I need to be there. I need to be there for the kids. I need to do this. Like, I'm missing the circus. Like, this is not fair. But you know, I had to live. I had to do that for myself. But yeah, taking off was just not an option. I mean, I had chemotherapy on Tuesday. I went and played tennis on Wednesday. Like, it's just something that you just did it.
Okay, so just to wrap up, what advice would you give young women about breast cancer?
Young women out there, and young men as well, be your best advocate. You have to be here, and you have to know your body, and you have to really know that it's okay to ask questions. You know that your body is telling you something, whether it's a small little thing or a big thing. And whether it's not even breast cancer, it can be anything else that you might be going through, that you really need to know that there's people out there that love you and support you in anything that you might be going through, whether it is something cancer or whether that you might be having issues with roommates. You're gonna have people out there that support you, and this has definitely shown me that I didn't know that I knew so many people, and some of the people I didn't even know, but they were just there saying, you know what, keep up the great work and continue to do what you're doing, because you really are affecting lives. And I want you guys to know that there's so many, especially with the Susan G. Komen Foundation, that they have so much education, so many resources for women to know what they can do if they are diagnosed, or if they know someone who is diagnosed. You know, it's not just you that's being affected, it's everyone around us. As you can tell, everyone is affected by this process. And we have some educational materials here today for the women to take, and for the men to take if they want, just to kind of read up a little bit about it, and how to actually do a breast exam and that kind of thing. It's really be your best advocate. Okay. Ask questions and and live your life.
Okay. So again, my name's Eleni Guidry, and on behalf of the Student Activities Board, I would like to thank all of you for coming out and listening to this fabulous story.
You could leave the